Hello, and welcome to Project Architect 2. And today we're going to be discussing the best EMC farms from beginner all the way up to absolutely insane. So without further ado, let's dive in. So to start us off with, we're going to dive into the sugarcane farm, aka the beginner farm. And I've went ahead and taken the back off here so we can actually see a horizontal sort of slice of it. Now you don't have to do 4 of these, you can do just 1 if you're really just starting out and you need a very simple farm. This farm consists of a redstone clock there in the middle, a block breaker, a piece of snad, so this isn't sand, this is snad, sugarcane, and then you'll need some water, which is going to be up underneath this block here. Oh. Okay, so we have it in the opposite corners. So I have a block here and a block over there. But anyways, you'll need water, sugarcane, snad, redstone clock, and a block breaker, all of which are very easy to make. Here's the redstone clock, right? The block breaker, we'll have to look up. It's the one from Cyclic. It takes copper, some mossy cobblestone, but you can get moss from vines or from moss, either of which should be fairly easily obtainable. And yeah, okay, got a lot of sugarcane here. So the premise of the farm is pretty simple. Basically, snad grows whatever lands on it. Oh, is this thing overflowed? Just a bit, huh? Oh, that's why, because it says deep slate in it. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. There we go. Okay, I was wondering why we were sucking up so much. Anyways, so the premise of this farm is very, very simple. The snad, every time it receives a redstone signal, it sends a growth tick to whatever's above it. In this case, sugarcane. I was gonna say sugar cone. Sugarcane. The block breaker does exactly as its name implies, and when there's a block in front of it, it breaks it. Now, initially, these are going to be set to requires redstone, so if you go to make this farm, you're like, well, it's not really working, it's because you're going to have to open this GUI and click on this button. And then for the redstone clocks, what you'll want to do, hold on, I'm sure I can craft one of these real quick. Redstone repeater. What you'll want to do is they're initially set to 60 delay tick and 60 duration. So they're going to last for 3 seconds. Just bring this all the way down. Now, given this may cause a little bit of lag, especially if you're on a slower computer or if you're on a server. So if you're on a server, maybe don't do this all the way down. Maybe do it to 10 or something like that. But then as you see, it's just going to send out a redstone signal like crazy. As it's doing this, it's going to grow the sugarcane, then the block breaker is going to break it. All you need from there to really turn it into an EMC farm is some way to collect it. So it could even be, you know, mine carts with hoppers if you're really going basic with it. What I have here is an advanced item collector, and it's simply because I have 4 of them. You can also go with the basic item collector. Ender pearl for obsidian, again, fairly easily obtainable, especially in this mod pack. And then you just need some way to condense it. This could be you taking it and throwing it into your tablet. This could be you throwing it into an energy condenser or even an EMC link, right? Because these will take in items and add it to your personal EMC, which is that number you see in the top left. So right now what we have it doing is basically sending it into an energy condenser that is turning it into diamonds. This hasn't been taken out of for some time, but you can kind of see how quickly EMC is being gathered. So fairly fast, given this is again a starter farm and we just have a 4-prong sort of setup here, which may be easier to see from the sky. Honestly, it looks pretty cool from the sky too. But yeah, I mean, you could even suffice with just having one of these, because again, it's really just meant to be a starter one to kind of get you some diamonds rocking and rolling early on. So that's pretty much going to be our beginner farm. A stack of sugarcane, by the way, is 2048 EMC. So 4 of those should get you a diamond. And obviously you should be getting 4 stacks pretty quickly with this setup. I have set 4, 8, 12, 16. So yeah, I mean, a stack gets produced every so ticks. And yeah, you can generate a couple diamonds per minute, I would say. If not a couple, at least one in like maybe a half to a minute, something like that. So that's going to be our beginner farm out of the way. Again, super beginner friendly in the fact that you don't need all of this setup. You really just need one piece of snad, the redstone clock. It doesn't even have to be a redstone clock. You can just put redstone running into it. It could even be a lever, anything that repeats a redstone signal. You can even make a very basic vanilla redstone clock, right? Block breaker and sugarcane. All right, moving on. Up next, we have another farm that I would consider semi-basic. Basic in the sense that it's just a mob farm, right? So all you really need to do at the end of the day for this farm is make a mob farm. Now, obviously, in modded Minecraft, that can get a bit complex as well. What you see here is obviously not duplicable. It's not able to be done in vanilla. Obviously, we're spawning a whole lot of creatures. They're spawning, without relatively any mob spawning prevention. So what's going on here? First and foremost, we're spawning these mods using the mob grinding utilities. Obviously, that's a bit of a tongue twister. But we're using the dreadful dirt. Now, this stuff is obtainable fairly simply as well. So we go to mob grinding. What you'll actually need to look for is this GM chicken feed cursed, and it will get you this rotten egg. So, buckets of experience, basic mob items, any form of seed, and again, buckets of experience, which you can get by using these fluid little XP drain singularity tanks from the same mod. You just stand on top of them and they drain your experience out, as the name implies. Then you just right click them with a bucket. So get that, you get the rotten egg. When you right click it, it creates a 5x5 area of dreadful dirt, and on top of that dirt, bad mobs will spawn. Now, furthermore, something that I just recently learned, if you provide a redstone signal to that dirt, it has a similar effect as with snad in the fact that it will process faster, for lack of better terminology. So as you can see, this side has redstone, that side has redstone, and so it's spawning very quickly. The other two do not, because, well, once I saw how quick 2 sides spawned, I figured we don't need 4. That being said, if you want to speed it up, of course you can, but expect a little bit of lag, as that's a lot of mobs and a lot of items being processed. So what you do from here, it's gotten a little complicated down below, but just ignore it. What you do is you send everything into an absorption hopper. Send the items one way, send the experience another, right? Items go into a chest. You will need to filter this because you'll get a whole lot of garbage, which you'll want to send into a trash can. And basically you just have to add everything to a filter that you can't have EMC from. So it's going to be all of the equipment, all the heads, that kind of stuff, because the heads have EMC, but sometimes they still get stuck in the system. So I just X-nate them. Alright, sorry. It is late, so my voice is going out as well. But then, yeah, from there, you just take everything that does have an EMC value, which is still a lot of stuff, and you send it into, again, EMC links, condensers, whatever you need in order to convert it into a higher form, right? And that's basically all that there is to this mob farm. That's why I say it's pretty simple. In the middle there, we're using the mob masher, again from mob grinding utilities. Really helpful mod here. And then we have vector plates. That's all the arrows that you see there. Yeah, I gotta send all that stuff away. Anyways, the arrows that you see there are going to be vector plates. Let me pull that up real quick. And they're going to be from dark utilities. And just as it says in the description there, it lightly pushes mobs around. However, it also has the added benefit that mobs can spawn on top of it. So you can have your dreadful dirt down below, and then your little arrows of power up above. So yeah, I would say this is a moderate farm because it's, while it may be expandable as far as lag goes, the more you expand it, you can definitely expect more lag. So, I mean, if the first farm gets, you know, three stars for being very beginner friendly, semi-scalable, yada yada yada, I'd say this one gets like 2. Don't get me wrong, getting the additional drops from a mob farm, like all the stuff that you need from it, really good. But as far as actual EMC production goes, I think you should probably just spend your time elsewhere, if I'm being honest. Which brings us to our next 2 farms, which I think are some pretty good intermediate farms. So without further ado, let's dive into that. Alrighty, so here we have the first of the 2 intermediate farms. And don't let the complexity fool you. It really doesn't have to be this complex, nor this large for it to be very, very effective. So the premise of this farm is to take an item that has EMC and is very low value that you can trade with a villager, right? So rice works. A couple people had recommended a couple other things, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. So you can also use iron from your iron farms, right? If you're using iron farms from easy villagers, somewhere over here, those obviously produce iron, which you can then trade to armorers and the like to get emeralds back out. So the point is, you send in some kind of item that trades for emeralds, then you take those emeralds and you trade them with an oceanographer for sea lanterns. Sea lanterns have an EMC value of 3584. I was gonna actually read the number as a normal human being, but I figured, why would I do that? So when you trade into emeralds, you're getting a stack value of 14,000 back, which is, I don't have to tell you, it's pretty incredible. Now, the limits to this farm, what are they? Mostly time. It's a lot of front end work, especially if you're going to do it as I have here, because you have to get all your villagers in that are going to trade for emeralds and make sure that the right setup is there. You also need access to auto traders, right? So you're going to need access to netherite, and a hefty amount of it if you plan on going this large. Which, you don't have to. I'm going to get into a simpler form of this here in just a second. So yeah, some way to pull EMCable items, some way to pull items from the traders, the emeralds, then you want to redistribute them to the oceanographers. And that is the whole premise of the farm. Do it however you want. You don't have to use pipes. You can use laser IO. You can use whatever the heck you want, right? Same thing here. You don't have to send it into a little storage buffer. I do it. Does it actually build up? Well, no, because we're not producing enough emeralds right now. Right now, our auto traders over here are moving faster than our ones over here, which seems strange, you may think, but in reality, this takes 2 emeralds. These guys only make 1 emerald per little operation. So really, we should have 2 times as many farmers to oceanographers, which is a weird statement to make in life in general, but you know what I'm saying. So now what's happening here is we have basically just a whole lot going on at once. So we have like 18, 19 farmers all at once, and all of those emeralds are being transferred over to all these oceanographers. And then again, it's just going into an EMC link, which you can kind of read here. We have 12 items going in, 12, 12, sometimes it changes. So yeah, we have a fair amount of EMC basically being produced here. And now a simpler version of this, if you just want a large outburst of EMC and you don't care about automating it quite yet, just take an oceanographer, take an oceanographer into a regular trader, right? Because those are very easily doable. So let's grab a villager. Oop. And then you can see here, sea lanterns are the very first trade, and you can't even cycle it to get anything else because they always have this as their first trade. So yeah, but if you don't want to set up all this, you're like, man, Chance, that's kind of a headache. Find some way to get emeralds. Again, trading in iron, trading in sticks to fletchers, whatever you need to do, right? And then there you go, you got sea lanterns. Just come trade it manually. Throw in 64, that'll give you 32 results of this, which I don't know if you can actually do that at once. Let's see. This will be a good baseline test. I have 5 emeralds in my system. It's horrible. It's garbage. See if we can't get some more over here. Okay. Well, I really want to stack. Is there no one else really? Well, we can trade with you. Here, let's see. Was it gold, iron, and copper? This guy? You guys still haven't reset? Alright, well, let's do it again. I really just want to see how much we get from a stack. There we go. Alright, so from one stack of an oceanographer, one stack of emeralds, you can get... Wow, you can get a full stack. So there's 229,000. Which is only, obviously, half of a stack of emeralds. But that's still not bad, and again, you don't have to fully automate the system in order to do that. You just need some emeralds in general, and you need an oceanographer, which, again, not hard to make. So that's going to be intermediate farm numero 1. And now let's dive into number 2. Alrighty, moving on to intermediate method number 2. Intermediate in the sense that it's more complicated to build and get going, and intermediate in the fact that you can really rake up some pretty good EMC here. So essentially it's a more concentrated mob farm. What we're going to be doing is spawning mobs in using the mob duplicator from Industrial Foregoing. You can do this by taking a mob imprisonment tool, going and catching whatever mob you wish to spawn. So in our case here, we have a ghast. You provide this thing with fluid XP, power, and time, essentially. And it'll spawn ghast or spawn whatever given entity you have in its working area, which of course you can see by hitting show working area. So you can see it has just that tiny blue space there in the middle. And that works fine for us. Now the liquid XP we're getting from our regular mob farm, so perhaps consider doing that. However, you'll also get some experience back from this thing, so it's not the end of the world if you don't already have some. Now that being said, essentially what we have here is a mob masher grinding up the ghast once again, and the absorption hoppers just sending the ghast tiers on over and in to our system. Now I've picked up, way too much stuff here. way too much stuff. Now the reason this is pretty good is because of course ghast tiers have an EMC value of 4,000, and you get quite a few from this because we have 10 fortune upgrades on the mob masher. So you can get 4 or 5, which obviously 4 or 5 from this is like 20,000 EMC, and that's a really good number. Now, a good way to upgrade this is to go one step further and put the warden in here, so that way it's spawning multiple wardens. I've not tried this, so I can't say it works 100%, but if it does, getting the Sculpt Catalyst is 8,000 EMC, which obviously is double 4,000, so you can really ramp up your output just by going and capturing a warden, which the mob imprisonment tools, if you didn't know, as soon as you capture the mob, it's gone, it's no longer a threat. So capturing a warden might actually be your best bet in general just to get rid of them. Anyways, with all that being said, I think that's it for the intermediate farm number 2. Most of this should be, fairly easily seen and done kind of thing. We have the absorption hopper again, taking the gas tiers, sending it over into the chest. Chest is then... Oh, something hit me. Anyways, the chest is then sending it... Something keeps hitting me. I mean, it is nighttime, so... Oh, it's a race. There you go. Anyways, so then the chest sends out the gas tiers and the gunpowder into these EMC links to again go back into our system. So that's pretty much going to do it for intermediate farm number 2. And now we're going to dive into the insane tier and /or the god tier. So unlike the other farms, we begin this process here in the end. And you do have to be in the end in order to do this, so it will require you to fight a dragon or find some way to avoid him, I guess, if you want to do that. But anyways, essentially what we have here is an ore laser base from Industrial Foregoing, and then it is surrounded by a whole lot of laser drills. Now, the way this works is the ore laser base can give you specific blocks. For us, in this case, it's giving us the Ender Draconium ore. Now, this can only be done when it meets a certain few set of requirements. One, has to be within the biomes that is whitelisted, bottom left here. So the end, the void, small end, basically anywhere in the end. It needs the correct lens. So here we have a purple laser lens. And then it has to meet the Y conditions, the height conditions, yada, yada, yada. I'm not sure what weight is, so maybe if somebody does know what that is, you can comment it down below and inform all of us. But yeah, once those key things are met, the laser or the ore laser base has the potential to start spawning in Ender Draconium ore. Now, in order for you to power this thing, it does not take a standard power plug, so I can't go use a flux point in order to just give it power. It actually gets powered from the laser drills. So the laser drills, you can see here, they take actual power. They do also take upgrades if you want to improve how fast this whole process works. I recommend putting the upgrades on the laser drill first, and then worrying about the ore laser base last. But essentially, yeah, these just take regular power, and then they power this up. You'll see here's the progress bar. Ours is moving fairly quickly, but we also have 27 of these things with add-ons in all of them. So I'm sure you can imagine how slow this thing goes when you just have one. That being said, even just having one, you're going to be producing a whole lot of EMC, and so that's still, really, really nice. So if you ever need to see where the work area for this is, you can of course go in, hit show or hide, and it'll give you a little indicator. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as how we're producing what we need to produce here. And then let's go back to our home in order to sort of complete the loop on this EMC farm here. So we have the ore laser base there. What you're going to want to do from that is send your reward, send your Ender Draconium ore somewhere to be processed. Now the best processor for it is actually going to be these mechanical squeezers from Integrated Dynamics. They always give you 2 draconium dust with a 50% chance of giving you an additional one. So 50% chance of giving you 3 instead of 2. And just trust me, this is going to be your best methodology outside of going down a very complex and complicated mechanism route, which I'm assuming nobody really wants to do right now. So yeah, they go into the mechanical squeezer, then you get up to 3 per squeeze. And then as you can see here, draconium dust as a singular has a EMC value of 16,000. And whenever you have 3 of these coming out of one single block, that is 49,000 EMC, which is pretty insane. And then, of course, you can see in the top left there, we're hitting up to 164,000 EMC per second. And I don't know how much our EMC has gained over the course of this video. So maybe if somebody has been paying attention, or somebody wants to rewind to the beginning and tell us, you know, you started at 580 and now you're at 790 or whatever, you know, just give us a little heads up as far as how many millions have we generated just using the farms that I've discussed here today. As far as what I think is contributing the most, it's certainly got to be the draconium and probably the sea lanterns over here. So yeah, in quick summation, we have the beginner farm, which I recommend if you're just getting started out in the pack and you need some way to duplicate your diamonds and maybe some of your other basic ores like iron, copper, whatever may you have it. Then I recommend you transition into a manual farm with the oceanographer, because this will generate you a whole lot. Or, I mean, really, you can do it alongside the sugarcane farm. No reason why you can't do both at once. And as you get into netherite, I do recommend going the auto trader route, because this gets you a whole lot of passive EMC, right? Because, I mean, 14,000 is certainly nothing to sneeze, sniff. Y'all know the saying. Scoff, I think, is what I was going for there. But it kind of got mixed with sneeze. Sneeze? I don't think so. Anyways, point being, this is the second route I would go. I would go sugarcanes, manual oceanographer, and then post that, go auto trader with this. Get a mob farm just because you'll need it for other items. You can do this mob farm if you really need one specific mob. And then, yeah, if you want to go in game, if you want to get something really nice going, I recommend going for the draconium dust, as it's going to give you, I mean, you see the results there. We're already up to 800 million. So again, thanks everybody for watching. I hope this was an informative, maybe not episode, but sidestep into the world of EMC generation in Project Architect 2. Again, let me know any tips, tricks, or advanced, you know, upgrades that I could use or do for this farm to make it better. And as per the usual, I do hope you all stay safe, stay awesome, and stay crafting. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, you beautiful, beautiful people, peace out.